Here's to the end.
All right, it is poker day. So here we are. We are at one of the trailheads, walking our way, just kind of taking a quick break on our way up to Black Hawk. So just getting ready to go play some poker, go play some 1-2, 1-3, 2-5, kind of see what games are running. Looking at Bravo, it looks to be a little bit kind of a slower day, so not expecting quite too much, but you never know. Games can't always be that bad, so to speak. So kind of putting our thoughts and intentions out into the universe, going to go ahead and just kind of work to manage or kind of implement kind of our global strategy built upon a whole series of smaller strategic sub-points. So good pre-flop play, good normal flop turn river play. Really going to focus in on how our opponents might be bucketing or bracketing their hands. Specifically, there's player types up here that are known just basically to go for two streets with any piece, any draw, any one pairs, try to make a two pair kind of situation. There's another type of player that's going to go ahead and just basically defend heavily with defend and protect heavily with for two streets with their hands. So where they make top, definitely are defending. Now they can run into problems with sets, and they're just sets or over pairs, or they're just kind of waiting for bad news. So strategically, there are a bunch of different ways to handle this, but be very curious kind of who the players are and how they're kind of putting these kind of concepts, ranges, strategies together, and what is their actual implementation of all of this, so to speak. So gonna be paying attention and kind of see what they're doing. Other than that, yeah, just kind of hop in the car and get back going. It is cold right now. It's probably maybe about like 17 degrees on March 2nd, but maybe catch a little bit of the background here. The river's beautiful, kind of what we have going on here, and where else can you get just a real nice break as you're kind of heading into the canyon and heading into Black Hawk. So that's what we got going on. I'm gonna head back to hopefully what is a nice warm car. Go in, find a game, sit down, get going. Good luck us. All right, here we go. All right, so mid-session update is technically probably more of like a weather update. Playing up here in Black Hawk, we are actually at about 8,800 feet of altitude. And what that means is even in March, we're gonna get some snow. So check out what's going on behind me here. This is kind of the main kind of entranceway, so to speak, or kind of the main areas where people kind of come and go between what's the lodge over there. I think Mardi Gras is there, and then behind me is going to be the actual Golden Gates. So that being said, we're in session. Session's going good. With the snow that is up here, it is, let me see here, not that busy. And even some of the dealers that are dealing in games across the street are being let go. So we have some dealers coming in the game, which is always fun. Sit with some of the other guys and ladies that we know from across the street, and they're in the game, so that's always a good thing. More players coming in. Otherwise, the way the game is going, I would say we're kind of just coolering off each other's ranges. There's basically small pots being traded, and when big pots are played, we're just kind of coolering off. You're not really seeing any big bluffing. People just want to realize their equity. People aren't really trying to capitalize too much on the equity that they have in given spots. We went ahead and we actually started out getting an inordinate number of pocket pairs. Didn't connect with the sets except in one spot. We go ahead and there's an early position opener for I think like 11. We get two calls. I defend the button to 11 as well. We go ahead and again pocket fours in this spot. It completes a round, so we have five players in. We flop four Jack 6 4 in this exact spot, so we're doing good. Now the under the gun opener goes ahead and leads out. I take that back. He was the big blind that completed, and he goes ahead and actually opens in this exact spot. And I'd seen this where he had to go to showdown very early on, so he's liable to open with weak hands into a field of players, just hoping to take it down that nobody connected. But people have to have jacks, all kinds of stuff. There's just a regular plain texture. There's no overt flush draw that's out there. So we pretty much just have this on lock, so to speak. So goes ahead and he bets call. I go ahead and just make the call as well too. Turn comes off an 8. So you know, probably another I think reasonable card because now people can find a lot of 2 pairs that go on there. So we go ahead and you know, checks around to me on the button. We go ahead and actually bet 45 in this exact spot. And then go ahead and folds in early position. The guy that opened kind of folds and kind of in disgust. Then the middle position player in between him actually goes ahead and calls. I'm a little in the tank, or he's a little in the tank on the call. And I guess what I mean by that, just taking his time. I go ahead and actually look up at him, make eye contact. I'm going to very naively say that he kind of takes that as a live read for some form of weakness, or he can outdraw, whatever. But I glance up trying to see if I can get a call out of him, and I'm just going to say it works for whatever that's worth. So he goes and makes the call. Another fold in the middle, so we're heads up to the river. River comes off a 9. Obviously, there's no flush. I should say the turn card did create the possibility of backdoor flush that could come in, but it does not complete. And then from there, goes ahead and he checks, and then I just bet 100, which is a cap in the game. So we're playing 1-2 spread 100, and he goes ahead and makes a crying call. I show the set. You know, he verbally says, "Show me the goods." Show him the 4s. That is the good. That's the nuts in this exact spot. So that being said, we're going to take it down, and he just complains the river was a bad card. I'm just going to guess he had Jack 9 and you know, was looking for, you know, some straight to possibly complete, make 2 pair. So he had one of his best bluff catchers, I think, that he could probably find against Ace Jack, or maybe a weaker 2 pair, something like that. We had kings in a couple spots. Kings went in the dumpster, just getting run down to set from some short stackers. So that's fine, whatever, really small. We also got into a spot against actually one of the dealers across the street from let me just go back over here. This camera has so much bokeh on it. Let's see if we pick it up. The Ameristar is behind me. Nope, we're just zoomed in kind of on us talking here. So that being said, I go ahead and open King 10 of hearts. He goes ahead and raises, makes a small raise. Actually, no, I apologize. I take that back. He makes a call and then verbally acknowledges, "Hey, I apologize in advance." That's fine. Whatever. It just kind of is what it is. Goes ahead. We get two more callers behind. We go ahead and basically flop the straight flush draw. Flop the straight with the open-ended straight flush draw for the King 10 of hearts. There's a jack in there, obviously. I go ahead and lead out into the pot for, I think, 20. Player goes ahead and makes it 60, and then I just go ahead and basically just jam for the rest of what is his effective stack in that spot. And I just go ahead and make hearts to make my flush, but I had the straight. He was going ahead and looking to draw to in his exact hand, he was looking to draw to the full house. Of course, I had even outs against his quads, so to speak. So that's a pretty rare spot. So overall session goes good. Not sure how many whole cards I'll be capturing, just because the whole card process I'm using is not working out too well tonight, at least. But that's mid-session update. We're winning. Things are going good. See if we can capture again a little more kind of what's going on behind me here. Yeah, the camera just has a little too much bokeh for this kind of narrow camera. Maybe we'll go up and take a look at some other things here as well too. But anyhow, that's it. That's mid-session update. Throw the camera back in the bag and get back at it, and here we go. Good luck, us, and back at it. All right. Okay, so we're actually going to pick up some action here at the table, and just exactly as the description says there down below, we're going to find ourselves looking at Ace 10 of diamonds. There are going to be a couple limpers in this hand, so we are going to go ahead and open up to a sizing of 16 against those limpers. I think I see 3 of them there. So I think it's pretty normal sizing. Now we do get min raised by the small blind, which is kind of different, but given against the exact player that's here, I'm really not worried. Now we flop top and bottom pair with a club draw. We get led into for 25, and I think that's a super easy call. We do go check because I want to keep his range wide. I'm really not worried about anything at this point, and then he just leads out for 50. I think this can be a stab with literally anything. You know, there is the possibility that he could have ace-king in that spot because he did min-raise, you know, and then of course, he may be finding himself a set at a later point is a possibility. So we just go ahead and make the call, and we're just looking to go 2 streets with that exact hand. Against other players, we would definitely raise, but I think that was totally fine. In this hand, we're gonna look and find ourselves with exactly jacks. So totally fine hand here. So we'll go ahead and open to 10. We'll go ahead and get, I think, 4 callers is what we'll be going behind. I see 1 there. There should be another one here, the 3rd coming along the way. Yep, he makes a lazy call. And then we're gonna be having the small blind complete his, or defend his small blind there. So we've got $40. We're gonna go see a flop that's gonna come out all low. So it's a 7-4-3 rainbow. Now we're gonna go ahead and check. If we did bet here, we would get a lot of, you know, floats, better hands, so on and so forth. But in this case, the small blind decides to lead out on this ultra low board, no flush, we have a complete rainbow. So when he goes ahead and puts 30 in, I think it's a pretty straightforward call. He could have queens in this spot, and we've seen that before in other instances. So obviously, and then sets as well too. The river comes off super low. There are some straight possibilities. There are some really weird 2-pair possibilities. He goes ahead and makes it 40, and that's not really a time lapse. We go ahead and make the call there. Pretty straightforward, and we go ahead and table our jacks, and he actually shows 10s. So we basically had the same hands, same line in that spot. We just happened to hand select or have a better hand candidate in that exact spot and actually scoop the pot. So that's actually kind of a nice one. All right, so here we are. It's actually end of session. So we went ahead and we were in for 4. We were out for 11.05 exactly, which is a great result. Book a nice win. Basically, we found 2 spots where we went ahead and coolered off people's range. They found appropriate bluff catchers that we did beat, that we could bet for value. Likewise as well too, I think in the edit right before this, might be able to talk about a hand where we went ahead and you know, identified a spot where we were definitely ahead of our opponent, let them, you know, basically value bet a worst hand or bet what I'm sure kind of they thought was for value. And we just go ahead and make a call. Yes, there was a spot where they, you know, they could have been beating us, but it wasn't, you know, something where we're quite on the river, be too comfortable betting for value there. So session is done. Really, it's kind of more of a function of just the weather. Very simply, you can kind of see behind me here, we got all kinds of snow and whatnot going on. I think they're actually like forecasting like 2 feet, but we may get like 3 or 4. So no big deal really. Parking lot isn't too full over here. Great session. I think we did well. I think the objectives that we started out with in terms of you know, strategy, managing a global strategy, managing the sub points that go within a global strategy, I think we did well. Pretty nuanced is what those concepts can be. I may do some additional content at the end of this just to go ahead and add in. You know, when somebody kind of asked me a question about a hand, I was trying to explain at the table. I don't really do, but I find the person I was asking me an extremely nice gentleman. So might put that in there in case he's able to catch this later. And yeah, that's it. It's a win. It's a win. It's a good play. We won through the correct metrics. Is probably the best way to say it. You know, we won the right way. So I'm happy to say about that. With some run good. So that's actually a really good thing. So anyhow, beautiful town, beautiful mountain. Let's just not get into trouble on the way down, and hopefully everything goes well. So that's it. Here we go. Done for the night. All right. Take care.